Sappho presents Dead Mile, written by Jo Furniss and read by Anna Cordell. The First Hour. Chapter 1. 5 p.m. Friday afternoon, and the traffic was bloody murder. Belinda Billy Kidd should have known better than to take the motorway at rush hour. Plus, she wasn't feeling tip-top after a long-haul flight from Australia. As a police sergeant, soon to be former police sergeant, she was well aware that a can of Red Bull and I'll be fine could lead to, but I only rested my eyes for a moment, and carnage. But what choice did she have? There was no welcoming party at arrivals, no public transport to her village. So here she was in a hire car, aircon set to Arctic, black coffee in the centre console, white knuckles on the steering wheel. It should only take an hour to drive home. 1 little hour. An easy drive she'd done 1,000,000 times. A road she'd patrolled back in the day, though it had been upgraded since then to a 3-lane express route that clogged up every Friday into a joyless conga, plodding towards the weekend. Billy hovered in the middle lane, even though it wasn't moving any faster than the others. She'd like to put the radio on, but couldn't bring herself to glance away from the road long enough to work the unfamiliar stereo. The only sound was the drum roll of wheels. Wheels skidding. Tyres bursting. Stop it, Belinda. On cue, red crosses lit up the overhead signs. Brake lights haemorrhaged down the carriageway. She rolled to a standstill. The engine put itself to sleep. Silence revealed her ragged breath. Over 30 years behind the wheel, advanced police driver qualifications, one horrible incident. Now this, heart thumping like a windscreen wiper on full pelt. She'd had a proper panic attack the first time she drove on a freeway in Australia. Her sister told her it's the menopause. Lots of women lose their confidence in midlife. "Get on the HRT, Mel said. You'll be back to your old self. Sergeant Billy Kidd, scourge of scamps and scoundrels and scumbags." But she didn't drive again on Aussie asphalt. And even now, back on British tarmac, she was at a standstill on a Friday afternoon and thoroughly relieved about it. How can you be a police officer if you can't drive? Oh, give it a rest, Belinda. If someone spoke to her the way she spoke to herself, she'd tell them to stick it up their exhaust pipe. In the outside lane to her right, a silver fox in a BMW hammered his steering wheel. In the inside lane to her left, 2 women stared ahead with identical profiles, mother and grown-up daughter. 30 years difference made them look like a before and after advert. She followed their gaze up the carriageway, stationary as far as the eye could see. Billy broke the otherworldly silence by clicking on the radio. Scores dead in a series of coordinated attacks. The presenter's voice sounded both grave and gleeful. Following a car bomb explosion outside the train station at 4:30 this afternoon, gunmen opened fire inside the concourse. Transport hubs across the city are being evacuated. Police have barricaded roads leading to and from the city centre, which is effectively locked down. The roar of a motorbike engine outside on the carriageway threatened to drown out the news. She cranked up the volume on the radio. And reports are coming in now of a second car bomb. There was an explosion in the Deadwall Tunnel at 5 p.m. precisely. This is looking to be the most deadly incident on British soil since the London bombings on the 7th of July 2005. No wonder the motorway was at a standstill. The Deadwall Tunnel was the main route into the city from the east. Billy wasn't sure exactly where they were. There was a high barrier on both sides of the motorway, so she couldn't look for landmarks. But the tunnel could only be a mile ahead. She dropped her face into her hands. Outside, a door clunked and Billy's head snapped straight back up. In her mirrors, she watched drivers emerge from their vehicles to peel sweat-darkened shirts from their backs, make phone calls, turn forlorn circles like lost tourists. "What a nutter!" the voice of a young woman standing in the outside lane. Sound carried in the strange stillness left
Sample complete. Ready to continue?